Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Elaine and I'm living with autoimmune disease. I recently went to an in-person support group meeting and I wanted to share my experience because I was a little apprehensive to go and it really turned out fine. So let me tell you why I was apprehensive and let's get into it. Like most of you know, I have had autoimmune disease for 15 years. I have never gone to an in-person support group meeting. The only outside thing I've ever done is a rheumatology patient education day at the teaching hospital that I'm a patient at. And I have met other patients in person by attending that day and being introduced by my rheumatologist. I guess I always felt a little intimidated to go to an in-person group and I actually didn't know where to start. How do you know where to find a support group if your rheumatologist doesn't tell you or you don't see anything online? So how this support group meeting came about was I had seen on Facebook for probably the last year or so that there was an in-person support group that was meeting in Los Angeles County, here where I live, and it was a Saturday, and I always marked I was interested. So in July, David and I had the opportunity to go to the Scleroderma Patient Conference in Seattle, Washington, and it was an amazing experience. There's something so special about meeting people in person that you have a camaraderie with. You know exactly the shoes you're walking in because they're walking in the same shoes. So going in person left me with this apprehension, sort of like online dating, I guess. You know you have something in common with these people, but you don't know how you're going to be received. My fear about going to scleroderma support groups is I don't have a lot of skin involvement. My skin score is extremely low. I have systemic sclerosis, so my issues are more internally than externally. I know if you're a scleroderma patient, you probably look at me and can't really tell I have scleroderma unless I point out things like my curled fingers or fissures on my hands. But as far as the classic signs of skin disease, I don't have those. So that made me apprehensive that someone would think I was an imposter. Boy, was I wrong, because everybody there was so accepting. It was an instant link with people, an instant bond. I met support group leaders, and that's actually how this all came about. So the first night of conference, we sit down to have dinner and some ladies joined us. It was communal tables, so it was everybody would sit together. It was kind of a buffet thing. And the ladies that sat with us were from Southern California as well. And namely, one of them was from Los Angeles County, which neighbors, that's fate. And come to find out, she was a co-support group leader for the support group that I kept saying I was gonna go to and never would make. So do you see where this is going? So I told her that the next support group meeting, I would be there. And I put it on my calendar and I was not gonna miss it. Now I've been dealing a lot with neck aches and migraines and headaches, and unfortunately I woke up the morning of the support group meeting with a headache, but I was not gonna miss it because the feeling I felt in Seattle with meeting other patients, I wanted to feel that again. So David and I took the drive to the support group meeting. I was very excited about the support group meeting because they had a speaker who was talking on the GI track, a well-known doctor here in Los Angeles, and not just a well-known doctor, but also the same doctor who had consulted on my case and confirmed my scleroderma diagnosis. I let fear hold me back, fear of not being accepted or being questioned about my diagnosis for all these years. And I never took that step out of my comfort zone to actually meet people in person. And I did it. And it was so heartwarming and fulfilling. I'm kind of like sorry that I waited this long to do it. Now, there were times that meeting with people in person would have not worked out for me, which is what online support groups are perfect for. I got a lot of support in my online support groups during times that my joints just didn't work and my mobility was limited. But meeting people in person that knows what it's like to go through all the medical testing, all the pokes and proddeds, and is proddeds a word? I don't know if that's a word, but anyway, you know where I'm going with that, and knows what it's like to go to every specialist, and the days that you feel really bad, have your blood come back fine, but the days you feel okay, your blood looks terrible. There are people out there who understand that, and I found that, and not just for me, but David went with me, and there were other husbands and caregivers there and people that know what David's going through. And I felt like walking into that support group meeting that I instantly had friends. Like, we have a bond that's closer than most people. There were other patients from the hospital that I'm a patient at. We got to compare our rheumatologist. I knew who their rheumatologist was. They know who mine is. We got to compare other specialists. Those whole conversations you can't have in the healthy world, you know, where people look at you funny, but you have those conversations because that's your life. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went to an in-person meeting, and I'm really gonna make that a part of my mental health care plan. I really think there was something special about the impact on my mental health after going to that meeting. I know for many patients that online is all you can get to. If you find a good online support community, I think that's a great plan for you. I would also encourage you to look at things like the Arthritis Foundation website, the Scleroderma Foundation website, and look for actual like smaller in-person meetings that you could do like via Zoom. I know like Scleroderma Foundation has these Zoom meetings that you actually meet and talk with people online. So really, I just wanted to share my experience of going to the in-person support group and tell you that I was scared, and I'm glad I did it. And so really just encourage you that if there's something you're kind of apprehensive about, or you have anxiety about, or you're scared about, and you want to take that leap, whatever it is, it could be a support group meeting, but something in your health journey that you know might impact your mental health in a good way, or you at least should try it to see if it will impact your mental health in a good way, I encourage you to try it. Go for it. Had I never tried this, I would have never known, because I almost let my fear get in the way of something that was giving me a good benefit. If you need a resource of how to meet other patients who are going through what you're going through, I would suggest talking to your rheumatologist as well. That's my experience. And the people that I met that actually are here and friends on my channel, I'm so glad I met you guys, and I will totally be back. If you think doing something for your mental health is a benefit to your chronic illness journey, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed and you would like to come along on my adventure, I would love to have you. The more friends, the more better. My adventure is sometimes fun, it's sometimes medical, but it's always an adventure. So hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying Vlogtober so far. I think we've done good for upload every day, at least for now. I've got some other videos coming out. I do want to share with you all my fall decorations. I know somebody asked about that. Somebody asked about my faves. I am going to share that. Somebody asked about the quilt behind me, which it's the same quilt. That's just the back. But you know, I think there's something about, why does the back of quilts never get like broadcast? I love this fabric. So I'm broadcasting the back of the quilt today. But yes, I will share all that. Those are coming up. So until my next adventure, go have yours.